This tank behind me is my 300-gallon African Cichlid aquarium. And a few weeks ago, I gave you a complete breakdown of my 210-gallon South and Central American tank. So I thought I would follow it up with a complete breakdown, every piece of equipment that makes up this 300-gallon African Cichlid tank. It's been running for a few years now, and it's a good, strong ecosystem. It's a good, healthy aquarium, and I want to share with you what makes up the component parts of this tank to keep it running in top shape, and most importantly, to keep the fish healthy and happy. So let's go ahead and take a look. We'll start from the bottom up, and below the aquarium we have two filtration systems. One under the aquarium in the stand is a 40-gallon DIY breeder that is filled up with a combination of media. There's some 4-inch thick sponges in there from Swiss Tropicals, 3 of them, and they're about 4 inches thick, about 12, 13 inches tall. So when the water comes into the sump, it's pre-filtered to some degree through this cup. You have a cup that holds some sponge material, and then the water goes through the cup, flows over some crushed coral, and then goes through those large sponges. Then, having been pretty cleaned up, the water then goes over some Sera Siporax, which is some very high-end beneficial bacteria media, and then is pumped back to the aquarium with 2 Cichlids 5.0, I think they're called Silent Synchra, or they're very, very good pumps from an Italian company called Cichlids. They've been flawless, they've been running for several years, and they get the water back up to the aquarium, I believe with a combined total of about 1,600 or more gallons per hour. So there's a lot of turnover going on. The aquarium gets a lot of water movement from that water going back up. It's coming in through some adjustable return lines, and that creates a lot of surface tension breakup. On the sump, there is a automatic top off that keeps the water level just right so that the pumps don't burn out because of a low water level. And there's also a canister filter, a Fluval FX6, which is actually sitting behind the stand, and you can see it here, and it also helps to provide some polishing. Because the Fluval has a pre-filter on it, so the intake that water is filtered before it even gets to the canister. That canister can run for between 9 and 12 months between cleaning. Getting inside of the aquarium, we have a combination of crushed coral, aragonite, and some gravel, making up a pretty deep substrate. I do some very light vacuuming on this substrate from time to time, but not. I don't really do deep vacuuming. I just kind of let it be and have it work for me as a sort of a beneficial bacteria media. And so I just leave it alone for the most part. There are little pockets that don't get much movement of water, even though there's a tremendous amount of water movement, but there isn't. There are some pockets that can form up sometimes. I'll go ahead and vacuum those from time to time. But usually water changes are just removing about 100 gallons and then replacing 100 gallons every other week. There are some rocks that I picked up at a local quarry in this aquarium. And there's also some artificial plants from my friends over at Elite Cichlids, who had gone out of business, but I understand they are coming back in business. So stay tuned for that, because I believe they are sending me a package of plants that I can share with you. The aquarium is heated with a 1,000-watt Haiger black hole heater, and it has a monitor you can see here, and it's run through a very heavy-duty controller that I picked up from Gemco. This is a controller that is rated to handle a very high amount of wattage. And so the controller is set at about 80, so that if the heater ever malfunctioned and tried to cook my fish, the temperature of 80 degrees would cut the power off, and that way I don't have to worry about a heater malfunction and overheating the tank. Inside the tank, there are also pieces of limestone. Just like the crushed coral in the sump, they are helping to, to make the water a bit more mineral rich, a bit harder, and that is what these cichlids like. There's also a very powerful Cichlid wave maker that is on a timer. I don't run it all the time because I don't want the fish blown around. But this wave maker is, I believe, over 2,500 gallons per hour, and it does a real good job at getting detritus to get into the water column and then taken up by the filters. And that's one of the reasons why I don't need to vacuum this aquarium. I have two types of lights on the aquarium. I have some beansworks. I have one beanswork in the front, which I find brings out the color of the fish very, very nicely. And I also have a couple of those Aquarium Co-op easy LEDs. Not sure if Aquarium Co-op makes them anymore, but they're battleships, pretty much waterproof, and very well built. I have a couple of those on the back part of the aquarium, and on the front I have the beanswork. I also run some Aquarium Co-op lithium battery backup air pumps in the event that there's a power outage. The air pump is running air into a stone into the aquarium, but it's also providing aeration to what is called an algae scrubber, which is something in the sump that grows a large amount of algae. The algae consumes, of course, ammonia, releases oxygen, does all kinds of good stuff, and really helps to keep the algae growing in one place, taking all the nutrients away so that algae doesn't grow all over the aquarium. The aquarium itself was made by my friends over at Glass Cages over in Dixon, Tennessee. It is 7 feet across and built like a battleship, like everything from Glass Cages, and they built the stand as well. So there you have it. That's the complete breakdown of my 300-gallon African Cichlid aquarium. It will be going through a little bit of a facelift with some new plants I'm getting from Elite Cichlids as they jump back into the game. I'm also going to be cleaning up some of the rocks in the aquarium that you saw, rocks that I picked up at a local quarry. But besides that, the aquarium is running strong, providing a very good environment for these fish to thrive in, which at the end of the day, it's what everything that you saw, its entire focus is on keeping these fish happy and healthy. And I think I'm getting there. So it's been running for about 4 years now. I'd say it's coming around. It's maturing, turning into, as Corey at the Co-op likes to say, a seasoned aquarium. So all right, that's it, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are appreciated, and I will see you at the next one. And if you'd like my tips on controlling cichlid aggression, because that seems to be a problem with a lot of folks, check out this playlist up here. It's all about controlling cichlid aggression. Here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll like. Here's my most recent upload, and here you can subscribe just by hitting me in the mug, and who hasn't wanted to hit me in the mug? See you next time, friends. You are the best. Bye-bye.